All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list coming into August 26, 2019. And if you thought Friday was crazy, it is about to get even crazier. The currency war is on, baby. So literally, right as we're talking now, Asia is just getting wrecked. But the biggest thing, I don't think you guys have really even seen this, a gap down on the Chinese currency. This is huge. If you guys remember a few weeks ago, roughly almost about 3 weeks to the dot. There it is. That's the daily chart. Just about there. So you guys remember when I made that video and I said once it goes above 7, it's going to go crazy. Well, it just literally hit 720 today. This is insane. But now the thing that makes it so crazy in the midst of all this, we're seeing it across the board now. You're seeing this is the lowest the peso has been since not too long ago, but it's had other moves around here, but pretty much it only weakens like this when something's going on. You can see here in the Japanese yen, that thing's dropping as well too. And then finally the lira, it literally had a flash crash and just dropped out of nowhere. And again, this is, why does it come right back down? This is the government supporting it. Remember, we were talking, a week and a half ago with Argentina, and what I said, you're seeing all these currency moves come out of nowhere, and this is going to be huge and important for tomorrow. So I want to talk about this, what effect it's going to have on the market, how to set yourself up for it, and what to look out for, cover the plays we want to look at, and I think that pretty much sums it up. So let's get straight into it. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you guys are subscribed, and if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. So if you're really confused by all this, you better be there in the morning and throughout the day. It's going to be exciting. I hope you guys are ready. But the most important thing you need to do right here, right now, in the moment, while you're here on this video, post your watch list below. Let us know what you're looking out for tomorrow, what you're playing, post the plays, source that information. I hope you guys are ready. So let's get into the keys for tomorrow. So right after that, currency war is on. Wait for more developments news-wise, but also watch for interaction between the market and the currency. So now, again, we've documented this a few times, and we've got to see pretty much how the market has moved in any other time. Again, it kind of sucks now we're not going to be able to see it on a shorter time frame. But anytime now, this was the first reaction to any trade war tariffs. And then the next 2 days, this was that volley back and forth between the value of the Chinese currency. So the thing you guys got to realize is that the gap already happened. Trump announced the tariffs after hours, as he said he was going to do, pretty much hinted at on Friday. So that's going to have an effect on it tomorrow. All of these currencies having this weakening, it's going to lead to an effect in the morning. It's most likely going to gap down to some degree or start low. But then as the currencies start to move up and down throughout the day and the markets are open, it's going to have a weird effect, especially as you even kind of saw with the lira there. As other countries and things step in, it's going to have a weird effect. So that's why you have to watch for how it develops with the market. Sometimes it'll bring the market straight down, but usually the move is going to occur with the currency at the beginning of the market, and then that's it. The only way you start to see these currency moves start to really hit the market is if it continues and continues and continues, and that's what we want to see here with the yuan. But even as we're talking now, it's stabilizing, it's strengthening, so it gapped. I can't believe this is crazy too, guys. But it gaps up, it weakens all this, and now it's coming to strengthen, but we got to see what happens from there. But the big key for this is, watch that interaction, but then the next thing is that when there is a big currency move, this causes weird moves in the market. It's going to have that whole small effect happens, but then it's going to take time to see it. So it's very easy to get confused if you're only watching this. So watch for a string of both news, currency developments, and again, stuff like even Turkey. Turkey's important because if any currency drops 15% in a single day, let alone a single 5-minute period, that's huge. It's just like what we talked about with Argentina, and this is letting us know. This is what I even said on Friday. This is why I was so hyped with everything. We are watching the trade war escalate to a whole nother degree. Don't forget, on the other side of the coin, this is a currency war, and if this starts to escalate and get like this is going to be crazy. But the thing to note is that when there is big currency moves, the market trades weird because it's hard figuring out a real value, even for the algorithms and everything. And if the value is extremely dislocated and they have to move it too fast, it's not looking good. It could lead to a lot of stuff. So be prepared for opportunity, but also be careful of your expectations moving forward with any of this. Or just be on stream, baby. We're going to be right there. But if anything, if we do see more pain and downside get confirmed and we see the butter, this is what I'm talking about, is again, the support levels, is that if we start to break in here, the yuan has broken out of its lower range. So that's the key. If you kind of want to look at this, here's the S&P 500. Here's the yuan. It kind of looks like the S&P and how it was. Again, not as choppy, but it even effectively had its own lower band. It just broke out of that. So if you do the same thing with the market, if it breaks here, but then if it starts to break level after level, and it does so with butter, then you're going to really start to see, and what I mean butter means any key support levels, anything where it should see activity, it just starts slicing and going and going and going. And we didn't really see that too much on Friday, but we did see that 3 weeks ago. But if you do start to see that, it's going to confirm something's wrong. And again, the faster and consistently day after day the yuan continues to weaken, that is going to have an effect. But now the key here to look for with the butter and the support level, if you start to see things sell off, there's this weird currency move, but then stocks really do start selling off, the companies that held up and the ones that people have already rotated to, those are going to be the ones to come down, and those are going to be probably the best plays coming into this week. So hopefully you guys don't miss anything, and if you do miss anything, you better get your stream insurance, baby. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Shout out to Stream Alerts. But let's get into the plays. So right off the bat, it's going to be stuff. Isn't this funny? We were looking at this thing all of last week on the call side. I switched to the puts. I feel like such a flip-flopper, fake fan. That's totally me right now. But Fedex. This is what Trump called out, UPS and FedEx. He talked about them specifically with the fentanyl shipping. But again, we do have the tariffs, and I would go after some of those main ones. I forgot to actually put it up here. Should also look at Caterpillar too. We're still holding those plays from last week. We did get a play at close on FedEx that's up about 200-300%, I think. So just going to hold that in there and look to develop other plays or take profits and roll over. But watch out for FedEx. We also got Apple, and now I have those longer-term shorts. We have those Septembers. I'm going to be doing a mix of turning some of these into spreads, and then also really, again, taking advantage of little amounts of money, and that's going to be my strategy coming into this. If the volume and the volatility starts to really go crazy and things start to develop to the downside fast or the upside, I'm just going to go after the really cheap, out-of-the-money contracts that are on a shorter time frame to try to flip them. And then, again, if you guys watch what we did on Friday, we did just that. I bought a $20 option, flipped it for $100, sold it here at the bottom, and then I bought back two more even further out the monies for less than I spent or sold the other ones for, and then I was able to make a lot of money on that. But it's just going to be about going small, not trying to hit the big one, but mainly just going the ones out of the money that aren't really getting affected. I'm going to go after that, but I'm going to do a mix of both sides on Apple, on both the short term and longer term with that. But I'd keep an eye out on Apple. And now what I'm really mainly looking at them for, if it really starts to escalate and we're seeing escalation of this trade war at another level, I'm just going to wait to see China just do some crazy, match Trump on the psychotic scale and just hit him with some crazy stipulations, taxes, or anything like they did. And again, Apple was doing so good earlier, they have a lot of fat to give up. So I like that. And then McDonald's now, this is the one I was talking about when I said if we do start to break through butter, I don't have any positions on this yet. I'm going to look to play McDonald's. McDonald's has held up so strong. It's already up there. I guess, wow, man, Friday was pretty ugly. Friday did make this chart look a little bit weird, but, McDonald's has been trending up so good. It has a lot of downside there too. But again, we need to confirm that this really becomes a risk-off event and people don't want anything to do with it. Next, there's going to be Home Depot as well. They had reports of insiders selling. They're kind of like McDonald's too. They've done a little bit better, but you could see a little bit more volatile. And this one now is going to have the effects of the economy as well as that insider selling. So I'm going to keep my eye out for it, because the thing with McDonald's and Home Depot, these are kind of overpriced, being that they've held up. People like them and flock to them for a reason. You just got to be careful not to overpay on these or end up spending too much for an event that's not going to happen. But keep your eye out for that one. And then next, we're going to have Baba. And now I want to see them too, because they are not at their lows as some other companies, especially similarly, if you want to look at Baidu, or again, even some other American companies at the lower end. You could even picture, if you guys even want to go back to FedEx, this is why you see FedEx is dead. FedEx has been feeling the pain. It's not like it's holding up this weird 100-day range. No, it's at its low, and it's ready to break through. So that kind of gives you a little bit of fat on Baba. And I do like the Baidus as well. I like Baidu because it's a little easier to play than Baba. But Baba, if you could hit Baba on the head, Baba shows a lot of strength. It's pretty resilient. This one could be good for the downside, so I'll look at that. And then again, even FedEx on the upside too, because it's down so much. And then Boeing, this is one of those other ones. After that big-ass move and what it's been doing, if Boeing starts to give up now, it's been doing so good. If they give up, same exact thing. Get ready to see these come down, and those puts are already going to be cheaper. So watch out for that. Then next is UVXY. This is watching the VIX and the fear indicators, simply because, remember, if you watched the watch list the last few days, we've been talking about this. We've been saying here, I thought it was going to bounce here because you rarely see it even hold up values here, but now it's doing something very similar. It may have dropped in the past before and slowly came back up, but having another big ass candle here and big spike in volatility after the first move comes here, this could be kind of like a pre-shockwave earthquake rather than the big one. So that being said, some of the UVXYs are still cheap. We still have some of those UVXY spreads for September. They're only up 100% now versus on the same move last time they were up about 300-400%. So that being said, if this starts to play around a little bit more, I'm going to keep my eye out for that, and I like UVXY. Same thing even now with TLT. TLT is a little bit more expensive. However, just like any of the Apple plays, it sucks. I don't really want to say this, but the short term on anything. Again, it doesn't have to be UVXY, but again, this is for if you're more experienced. Please understand, option trading is extremely risky. You can't lose off that much of your financial investment. Please consult with a financial advisor. None of this is extremely. Yeah, you get the idea. But be cautious. You have to be very, very cautious here because there is good opportunities with the next weeks, and that's what I'm talking about, as well as the weeklies. But you have to understand some of these plays now, some contracts have decayed so much, it doesn't matter what the hell's just happened. They're still going to be cheap. So if a big move outside of the standard deviations of what's expected, you're going to be able to find those cheap. So if anything, come and ask some questions on stream and we'll see. But that's what I'm going to be looking for. Even TLT, both GLD and UVXY too. I think these are all great ones to look at, but mainly I think if anything's underpriced, it's going to be UVXY. Then lastly, like we said, Caterpillar, and then Turkey, and I could throw up a couple of these companies, but I want you guys to find them. You could usually put in a 3-letter ticker close to the country, or like EWM, EWI. Those represent countries, but I'm going to watch for Turkey's ETF because last time they had, you could see the biggest volume here. They dropped $25 to $19. I don't think they devalued as much as they did. This was during that first Turkey crisis in 2018. And if you guys haven't noticed, Turkey often precedes a lot of stuff. So I'm going to keep my eye out for them. I'm going to just keep my eye out for the SPY and get ready on what to do. A lot is going to be responding and taking the best risk reward with the best prices on the options. So I hope you guys are ready. If anything, though, don't get too jumpy. We've seen a lot. We've seen a lot of pump fakes. We could see how it is again, and this is what I said on stream last time. All of us are so blessed and lucky because the last 2 weeks have just been our opportunity to get a trial run at volatility. You guys have got to see how it was. So if you were complaining, oh, I'm down, I was down, literally up until Friday. Some of you are like, oh, I'm down. Oh my God, my pony's dead. I don't think I can ride ponies anymore. I'm done. I just don't think it's for me, Josh. Then you made all your money back, or if you made a lot of money, and even if you didn't want to quit, you made a lot of money, but then you gave all of it back. You got to ask yourself, what did you learn from here? And don't make the same mistakes, or try your best not to, okay? This is what I want you guys to really understand. It is about progress, not perfection. So you got to go through this. You've got to already experience a big 900-point down day. You got to experience the tweets. You got to experience the markets. Be on stream too. All of that. How are you going to progress? Don't be the same person coming into this, and find a way to just do something a little bit better. And again, because that's all it takes. Usually you make one little smart move trading. That's a big amount of profits it usually leads to. So progress, not perfection, my friends. Be safe. Be easy. Make sure you're prepared. Make sure you guys are hydrated. Make sure you liked the video. Make sure you did your watch list. Make sure you read your Bible. Make sure you're good to go. Make sure you show love, respect, ready to go. Okay, let's go!